Welcome to Club Domingo, brought to you by Cyclone Comics.
Good morning, Tim.
Hello, Gary. 2 turkeys. Let's go. Let's get this turkey show on the
Don't
road.
make the sounds.
We'll get banned. We've already been threatened with banning once already, haven't we?
That's right.
Why is that, Gary?
Of course, of Spedsy and his rude words in the comments.
You're going to blame Spedsy, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Who would come to a public forum like that and spread such nasty language around? Spedsy would.
Spedsy would. Spedsy did.
Yeah, Spedsy did. Yeah.
Okay.
What's been happening?
So really, that's as far as you're going to take that? Okay. Fair enough.
Now, people will have to listen to last week's show or go hunt down episode 59 because this week's show is episode 60.
You're right. Wow, 6 decades.
6 decades of Club Domingo. It only feels like a year ago.
Jesus. I can't believe it. I can't believe that we've been able to do it weekly with nary a hitch.
Nary.
Nary.
Yeah. Today could be the first.
Could it? No, we're here.
We could run out of things to talk about.
Or you could forget to save the recording. That always seems to be.
Don't get me paranoid. Oh, okay, no. Fair enough.
So many podcasts at some point go, well, we're recording today's episode for the second time. We've never had to do that yet. So yeah, lucky.
There has been one episode where I had kept my volume down on my mic and I hadn't noticed. So when I played it back, your voice was okay, but mine was kind of soft. So I had to do the trick of bringing my vocal up while keeping yours at the same. So
well, that's lucky. I never noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never told me. When you record it, I don't know what software you're using. Are our audios in different channels?
They can be if you make a setting to split the audio, but usually I just do a single track.
Right. Oh, how did you get your voice louder and mine not louder? Like, you're so clever.
I had to hit Dr. Google to find out how to, balance soft and loud voices. So
yeah, right.
Just a thing that you run across the audio track, and it balances it.
Was it last week or the week before when we were chatting off air, and I was telling you what I'm teaching, and I'm like, this week I've got to prep after we wrap today. We're recording on Monday 27th. I've got to prep for the Premiere tutorial day. So I'm teaching Premiere. And he said, well, if you're teaching Premiere, why am I the one who's doing all of the editing? And I don't know that much about Premiere. Everything that I do is either in the slides or I Google it. I just did a recording of the remarking of the trade paperbacks last week. So I was remarking trade paperbacks, and I videoed it, and I wanted, because it was like nearly 2 hours worth of recording or something, and I wanted to speed it up in Premiere, which is easy enough to do. It's just a right click, and it's one of the things in the menu there. But I wanted to get that effect where where you get the motion blur, right? Because if you just speed something up, it just cuts out all of the frames it doesn't need, and it's not actually that appealing to look at. So yeah, I had to look that up, but it was very simple. Speaking of appealing to look at, Rusty the cat.
Rusty's lost a lot of weight recently. He's been on a restricted diet, and
is it working?
Yeah, he's a skinny thing now.
That's amazing. Well done.
Yeah, he's not happy, but very unhappy cat. But we've changed his diet to medically approved stuff, and the weight's fallen off him.
Wow. Very proud of you, Rusty.
Yeah,
very proud of you.
Now he spends a lot of time in the yard waiting for mice to come by.
There's possibly a lot of exercise because of that, not just a difference of the intake, but also a bit of it. Yeah. Oh wow, fantastic! You should be out there trying to catch mice with Rusty.
Yeah, when Rusty does crunches, it's the sound of the mice being eaten.
Yeah, different sort of crunch.
Yeah. It was funny just the other night on the back veranda. Belle went out for some reason and she didn't turn the lights on, and she had bare feet and she just trod on this wet thing that went and I went out there in the morning and there was a little packet of liver and spleen and whatever that had been slid right across the veranda.
Amazing.
She says, I don't want to know about it. I just let them wash my feet. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Good one, Rusty. Yeah.
They're pretty clever how they know which bits to eat and which bits to just leave clean and shiny, because it's going to be
little parcels of goodness for the kids to tread on.
But it mustn't be good for them to eat like certain organs, so they just leave those organs. It's amazing.
That's right. Yeah. But sometimes they eat a lot. I haven't found a mouse tail just hanging around yet. They scoff a lot. Yeah.
Oh, apologies to all the vegetarians and vegans out there, especially the vegetarian pussycats watching.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, farm life out in the bush, you're going to get a certain amount of wildlife coming inside from outside.
This is true.
Because most of the wildlife that comes in is in Rusty's mouth.
How long in a normal work day, how much of the day does Rusty spend on that chair just off to your right?
If I'm here, chances are he's there.
Wow, that's incredible.
In fact, he's more of a bully as far as schedules than I ever can be. If it gets to 8 o'clock and I'm not upstairs, for example, he'll start complaining downstairs and meowing. He's turned into how the Siamese cats have a real meow or cat fight kind of. Yeah. He's a tabby, and yet he's developed this Siamese lower registered drawl. Meow, meow.
Let's go, Gaz.
Yeah, it's only at 3 o'clock in the morning when he's trying to get my attention to wake me up to feed him in the middle of the night that he goes, meow, meow.
Come on, get amongst it, Charles.
Yeah, don't wake mum, but Dad, can you fill my bowl up? No, go away. Meow, meow.
Amazing.
Yeah. So now he's bathing himself. He's just come upstairs from being in the yard for the morning, and yes, he's now ready for a bit of a nap for the rest of the day.
Very good.
It's a cat's life. Yeah. So what else is happening?
Stuff. What do you want to start with? We've got a couple of things on the list for the day.
Well, do you want to do some housekeeping about paper stocks first? Paper stocks.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Because last week, last week you rabbited it on for bloody ages. You rabbited it on and on and on about your bloody paper stock for Greener Pastures trade paperback and how you love your paper stock. Yeah. Beautiful. Very nice. Yeah.
I love
it. So we were talking about that. We were talking about screen tones, digital printing, ink filling in on the page, ink sitting on gloss paper, digital printing versus offset printing, all that stuff, which was in episode 59, if you want to catch up on that. Yeah. But based on that, we got an email from David Bird, which I might go into storyteller mode and read the email without further ado, and then we can answer some of his
now let's get some further ado first. So I actually at the end of the episode I was thinking,
yeah, that's right. Yes.
Did we go on for too long about that stuff? I thought maybe
we were fine. Don't worry about it. We've got no complaints, so don't worry.
Maybe I was a bit boring in the end. But we got this letter from David, and we got at least one comment on one of the Facebook posts as well, saying that was really interesting. Talking about all that stuff. It was good to hear. So I felt like, okay, we didn't overstay the welcome on that subject. And yet here we are again this week. We're going to be bringing it up some more.
Yeah. If the kiddies like that kind of information or, conversation, then, who are we not to do it?
Yeah, exactly. All right. To David.
So David first, and then you have some information that you found out during the week as well.
Yep.
Okay, rightio. So let's go into emails here. Right. Hi, Tim and Gary. Now, David Bird is the publisher of Tableau books, which are highly recommended. So he comes from an editing and production background as well as storytelling and stuff as well. So hi, Tim and Gary. I was quite absorbed by your discussion on screen rulings, ink, the digital reproduction process, and paper stock selection in episode 59. Tim, your consultation with Baden from Jeffries Printing, who actually printed Tim's trade paperback, Your consultation with Baden to find an appropriate stock to simulate pulp paper that is compatible with digital output, not offset, is interesting. I assume this is to reproduce the look of the original floppy editions. I want to ask why. I understand that this is not a criticism. I get that this is an aesthetic choice. As a long-time comic collector, I can be as nostalgic for the way pulp paper of 60s Marvel and DC Comics receives processed inks, as well as the feel and smell, as the next comics fan. However, pulp paper has always been emblematic, that's it, of the disposability of comics in the context of popular culture. When independent publishers in the 80s began to use various types of good white paper instead of pulp, it was a sign of a growing sense of self-respect within the US industry and a signal to the public that graphic stories had intrinsic worth beyond temporary entertainment and were worthy of being taken a bit more seriously. Gary, my turn. Mike Nasson is a big fan of your work. A few years ago, he showed me some reprints you had done of the Jackaroo. They had colour covers and black and white interiors printed by web offset on pulp paper. Actually, it was digital on pulp paper, but anyway. He was a little dismayed at the printing choice because he felt your work was so good, it more than deserved to be printed on good white paper. So, guys, tell me why you love pulp so much. Is it just nostalgia? Is it tied to your feelings about how you believe an adventure comic should look? Once reproduction costs were the main argument, but in the digital short-run age, it no longer is. Thanks and cheers, David.
Awesome. Great. Great email. Fantastic points all around there.
Yeah. Do you want to take a run at your decision for pulp paper or that sensibility, maintaining that sensibility?
Yeah. So it's definitely not about nostalgia. So I'm not trying to make it feel and look like the old comics for nostalgia's sake. Is it I guess it's a coincidence. I suppose that's how you'd phrase it. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is that the matte paper just looks and reads better as far as I'm concerned. Whether I'm reading something from one of the major publishers or from an indie person, I would much rather have it on matte paper than something gloss, let alone really, really glossy, catches the light. You've got to angle your book so that you can read it properly. So it's not about nostalgia. I think the nostalgic effect is a great benefit. I think that's a big plus. I think that the fact that it looks and feels a little bit like an old-fashioned comic is a positive as well. And I think I mentioned the brief anecdote last week that at the Greener Pastures table at conventions, people will pick up the old printings and will flick through them and look at the yellowed paper and go, "Wow, how do you get them looking so what's the phrase? Old school." I said, because they are old school.
You print them new and then you wait 30 years.
That's right. You put them in your garage for 30 years and then voila.
Yeah. It's like fine wine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm not trying to achieve that with the new printing, but I am trying to achieve a really comfortable reading experience, which I think comes from opening a book with nice paper that has a texture to it. It's not slippery. It's not slimy. It has a nice porous texture to it. It doesn't shine, and it's a little bit creamy. It's definitely creamy. If you put this next to what Baden would normally print somebody's digital comic on digitally. That's super white and it's really bright, and it's like
but even your page one in your trade paperback versus the inside front cover, which is white stock, there's quite a color difference. Yeah,
you mean that? Yeah. True. I didn't even see that.
You can see the difference there.
Absolutely. Just on screen you can see
the right hand side, the interior paper is quite warm while the cover stock is quite cool.
And I know David has a lot of experience in publishing, and you and I both come from a graphic design and publishing background. So, especially for a while there, it was a really when I was working at places where they had clients that had a bit of money to spend, we would talk about the feel of the book or the magazine that we were going to do. We would talk about spot varnishes and that kind of thing, and how it feels and how it looks and catches the light. The matte cellar glaze on this is really nice as well. We could have definitely gone for super shiny there with no change in the price. And it just we had examples in front of us on the day that I checked the proofs, and I could have changed my mind at that point with like no problem at all.
Yeah.
And this just feels like a better quality. It just does. And then definitely the interior pages. People have picked it up and flicked through it and then stopped to go, wow, I love the feel of the paper. So there's that. And I really hate, ever since digital was invented, I really hate the way that the digital, what do you call it? Why can I never remember it? It's not carbon. It's
Toner.
the toner, the way that the toner will sit on top of that gloss, because it's got a surface to it. It sits on top of that, and shines differently and all of that stuff. This feels like ink. Um, almost completely. Has a better feel to the touch. Has a better look. The lack of bright white is not so kind of you know
Garish.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So nostalgia is a very small aspect of it, and it's a secondary thing that is a great positive, I think, as well. So yeah, that and he's brought up really good points there, all round. The whole thing about the fact that comics were disposable, so they're printed on the cheapest paper with watered down ink and all of that. Um, So yeah, looking at original printing of Green Pastures #1 there, and it's like, I can't remember how white the paper was or not, but this one's still holding its whiteness pretty well. So
Yeah.
this might actually be a little bit whiter.
Yeah.
It's about no, it's not quite as white as it's a little bit more yellow than what I just had printed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what it's all coming from. And Baden, we stood in between, two of his huge digital printing presses. And I call them presses. I think he used the word press, and I was going to ask him, is that actually like, there's no press in there, right? It's not like a press, like, but he was using the term press because of how big they are and how professional the work.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how it's all heat activated, and how you have to have special paper because some paper won't go through it. Some paper will come out quite a different tone to what it went in because it cooks while it's in there. A lot of paper, most paper you can't put through a second time because the toner will remelt or the paper won't handle it a second time. So
it's cooked. It gets cooked and flaky.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it was really interesting to talk to him about that. I don't think I said this last week, but one of the things that he brought up, which was really interesting, and now I don't know what my CMYK breakup was for the original printing of Greener Pastures, but you can see the vibrancy and the color in the trade paperback, right? And one of the things he said to me was that the gamut for color is much wider off his digital press than off his offset press. So even though it's still operating in CMYK, he can get a much wider set of colors, much deeper, much brighter. And it's possibly the reason why they printers in general aren't so concerned when you give them a RGB set of files instead of CMYK. I always make sure I give CMYK, but because that's what it is printing in. But yeah, I really didn't know that. I didn't know that there is a wider gamut.
Yeah, that's a little trade secret that he probably keeps in his back pocket.
So did you know that?
No, I didn't. No.
Right, yeah.
Interesting. For me, with the Cyclone Redux material that I think David was talking about, and David is the publisher of Paper Tableau, not just Tableau, Paper Tableau.
Paper Tableau,
So sorry, David, but nostalgia was a larger reason why I selected the pulp paper for the Cyclone Redux stuff. But that exercise was just for that project of the 9 issues reprinting the Jackaroo stuff. When I do my deluxe series, I'll be less considering the nostalgia factor and more considering how best to show off the artwork. So I'll be looking for a a stock that can hold the color well, and it doesn't sit on the paper. It absorbs it slightly, but still maintains its vibrancy. So maybe a satin finish of some description. But yeah, final decision on that will be made closer to the print time. But yeah, Cyclone Redux was very much an exercise in nostalgia and not being scared of folding the comic in half and treating it like a disposable art form. That was where I was coming from there. But these deluxe editions, I'm coming from a different mindset. So
So you were leaning into the disposability of it and the nostalgia of that disposable era of comic books. Yeah, cool.
Which is part of the reason.
I love that set. I love the printing of it and everything. Yeah.
And I was playing with that, even going so far back as the Flash Domingo tabloid newspaper format.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was trying to get a bit of scale to the artwork, and but still having a trash art sensibility. Where there's no way the Flash Domingo newspaper, you got to look after it to collect it and to keep it preserved over the years, because it's a pretty fragile thing.
Mine's folded up in a box somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty ragged. I only have one copy. Do you have many copies of that in really good condition?
I've got a handful that are all bagged up and
still flat.
And still flat.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
But I know that's probably the most fragile thing that I've got in my collection. That I've published. So different mindsets. The nostalgia level is different for different projects, I suppose. But then he asked whether it plays to the adventure comic nostalgia, and I thought that was quite interesting. Just the format of using pulp to help promote a sense of nostalgia in these adventure comics, and I hadn't really thought of it in that context before. So that was an interesting point.
Yeah. And it's definitely not disposable, because this is more expensive paper than what I could have had. I could have had cheaper paper. It probably wouldn't have bulked out as much, which I quite like. It's quite airy. It's a light paper. Like the GSM is pretty light, like 80 or something, but it bulks out because it's full of air, which is, I guess, how you get the porous feel to it.
And it makes it lighter as well as a unit, instead of the intensely crammed gloss paper stocks that are quite heavy. I would imagine your trade paperback's quite light in comparison.
It is, yeah. Yours is on the way, by the way. If you haven't received it yet, you should get it any day.
I'll probably get it next month or so. Get it for Christmas down here in Tasmania. Yeah.
So I won't name names, but somebody reached out to me and said, "Tell me the specs, and I'll get you a quote from a printer I use." So I did. I gave my friend the specs, and the quote came back considerably cheaper. And I said, "There's no way that they're using the same stock," and they're not. They're just using Bond. And it's like, well, Bond is okay, but it's actually not as nice. It's still not nice. And I now understand why that was a much cheaper quote, because it's
Plus, I know it's not a very good. I suppose it is a good business practice, but I feel very loyal to Baden.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you can sort of get alternate quotes, but you'd have to go a long way price difference to get me to leave someone who has treated me so well, knows his stuff so well, has treated or has promoted and done a lot for Australian comics over the years. That a certain amount of loyalty is called for there as well. So while he's doing such a great job, I'm going to stick with Baden until proven otherwise. But he'd have to do a lot of fuck ups for me to walk away at this stage.
No, 100%. I agree with you there. It's about relationships when you've got a production line. Even as seldom as we have the production happen, but I think I related this, that I contacted him via email saying, can I get an updated quote? And this is my deadline. Like, are we capable? And a lot of printers would go, I don't think so, or yes, but it'll cost you more, or And he was so he kept me really at ease. Even when there weren't updates, I just know him and Brendan, who works there, who works those presses, and I know that they will take care of it. And if they weren't, they'd let me know. And even though it was coming close to the deadline, I wasn't hassling them, which I would have done with almost every other printer, because
Right.
I knew that they'd go, okay, they're ready to come and get now if you want to come get them. And exactly they were. They were ready on time, looking beautiful, and yeah. So it helps me sleep at night, that extra money, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, it's all of those things kind of adding up together to choose that stock at that printer for this particular project. Not all my greener pastures will be printed on that. I know number 8 was printed on it, but I have a feeling that the team ups might be printed on maybe the shinier stock or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, just to
Set it
separate
apart.
them a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
set them
Yeah. Yeah.
apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, the setting apart is interesting because I'm trying to problem solve. I don't have to reach any conclusions anytime soon, but problem solve Morton Stone being produced at US comic size compared to Jackaroo, which is going to be an oversized trim size compared to the Wolfman story I'm doing. Is it going to be a hardcover or a soft cover? All these decisions that are interesting to makes life interesting. Because there's still a small part of me that is an anal collector that wants everything at the same size and all on the shelf properly. But there's another part of me going, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Because I've never appreciated or liked the American trim size, as you know. I think it's a bit of an odd thing. How it was arrived at. And I don't think it showcases the artwork properly. And I don't like the idea of digest comics where the size is going down more so than going up, because comic art needs to breathe and to be able to see the lovely art detail.
Yeah. That being said, have you picked up one of those digest compact, whatever they're called, compact collection? Mal Briggs's Impact Comics was tabling at Geek Expo in Goulburn a couple of weekends ago, and when I was chatting to him, he had a number of them laid out, so I picked one up to have a look through, and it actually didn't feel too bad. So the printing is really nice. Again, it's not a gloss stock. It's a matte or matte-ish version. It's not pulp, but it's a nice matte. And the printing, maybe it was just the story I picked up, but the printing and the color was nicely kind of understated a little bit.
Was lettering easy to read? I would imagine
it was easy enough. So I totally get not only just the marketing, but like I said to you before, I think I've said that Samuel, my son, actually thinks that they're pretty groovy as well. So I don't know, but I'm with you.
Groovy?
Groovy. I've been probably not his term.
He's wallowing in nostalgia, that boy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, remember they used to make the digest size. DC and Archie Comics used to make
I remember.
And Mad Magazine would reprint stuff as in novel size, etc.
Yeah. So I don't get out a lot to comic shops to even browse these things. So, but I can only imagine that there'd be some difficulty in reading some of the lettered comics, particularly stuff like Swamp Thing word balloons, where the lettering is on a dark word balloon background and special effects balloons and things like that. But it might be a little bit tough, particularly for older readers, which would be the target market these days that has money to spend on that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that these are being targeted at younger readers for that very reason. It's easy enough for them to read. They're only $10 American, so they're for people who don't have a lot of disposable income, and you get a pretty chunky read for your $10.
And is it to compete with the trim size of a lot of manga?
I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's to get that kind of shelf space. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, fuck that shit. That's all I can say.
Okay. Opinion noted.
Yeah.
I'll type that one.
Yeah.
Opinion noted. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we go on a bit more about a bit of a mistake I made last week talking about digital printing and you think I would have looked up the correct term for stochastic patterning instead of so I think it was that very day, my daughter Annabelle was over, and she's a printmaker, and we were talking about these kind of things. So she's interested in printing, and she was really trying to figure out what the difference is between what I'm printing now versus the offset printing I used to
Yep.
do, and
Yep.
how do the plates and the film work. She wanted to see all of that. And I was saying, I don't think that there's a screen tone on these at all anymore. And she said, oh, I don't know about that. And she went and got her loop. So I've got a loop somewhere. It's not as
Yeah.
fancy as this one.
Loop-de-loop.
And I don't know where mine is, but she's got a loop with 2 magnifying glasses.
Wow, fancy.
Yeah, one's 10 times and one's 20 times.
Yeah, yeah.
So we had a look under the loop, and I was totally wrong. There's absolutely a screen ruling in that, but it's pretty fine. And I tested this before I came on air. So are you ready? Let's all look at this together.
Oh, it's like going to the optometrist.
That's right. Those of you with perfect vision.
What can you see better, the red or the green?
Yeah.
Red or
Sharper
green?
now
Red
or now?
green?
Sharper now or now? Okay, so this is the oh, and I'll start with the 10 times. I think that will work better. So this is the 10 times loop.
I can see right up your nose.
And there we go.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I saw it earlier. You have to just get it right.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe now that we're playing with Zoom, it's not a good enough video. There it is, just there.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll try it with the 20. Sharper now or now?
Stop it! You're making my eyes water. Huh? Yeah, right. Oh, that looks like a dude.
There we go. You can definitely see it there.
Yeah, there. Yeah, indeed. Yep. Okay.
There's definitely a screen ruling in there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's close to continuous tone, which is the term that you used last week, which is the right term. It's close to continuous tone, but it's not actually continuous tone.
Right. Okay.
Even in black and white.
So did Baden confirm what kind of screen ruling this digital printing runs at?
No, the next time I chat to him,
yeah, you can see that there. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, my mistake, kiddies at home.
There you go. Everyone wipes their eyes and blinks their eyes away.
I used to, my eyesight close up used to be so good that I could see the screen ruling in most printing, and I think I was fooling myself that I should be able to still see it, and I definitely can't. So
yeah.
So yeah, I can't see with my naked eye anymore, but some people can.
What's your language? It's a family.
We'll get banned.
We'll get banned.
No.
What? Don't get us in trouble again.
No, not
me.
That wasn't me. That was you. That was you and
Spedsy.
Does everybody at home know who Spedsy is? Rob Lyle.
Yes, writer and artist extraordinary.
Ne'er-do-well.
Extraordinary. Yeah. He's more than famous. He's infamous.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's so. Thanks, Annabelle, for lending me your loop. I don't know where mine is. Mine's an old-fashioned, like what do you call it? Photo loop.
I've got an old loop around here somewhere, like it's an ancient thing, black framed. But anyway, yeah. Where does the term loop come from? Do you know? Is it an abbreviation of a longer term, like antelope?
Yes. I do not know.
Okay, fine. Well, we're full of education and information today, aren't we? Right. Okay. Say goodbye to everyone.
Look it up if you can't tell. Nah, too hard.
Nothing too hard. And is it loop as in LUPE or LOOP?
Oh man, I always thought it was LOOP.
Could be Lupe.
You could be Lupe. Okay, so I think that was like covering the bullshit I went on about last week. Yeah.
That was a great email from David. So if anyone has opinions or questions along the same lines, or in any subject really that's comics related, send it to Tim at clubdamingo@cyclonecomics.com.au.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. It's The more the merrier. Come and come at us with your with you.
And we can prove to everyone how ignorant we really are.
Exactly. You know what it made me do? The fact that there is actually a screen ruling, or if it was stochastic or whatever. But
You're about to say there's a screw loose. There's a screw loose.
More than one.
Yeah.
That is so fine. Yeah, I think I said it last week. It makes me sleep well at night that I'm trying to get a really high res scan for everything.
The advances in digital printing are amazing.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when it first started to become a thing, that how I was sworn off it because it just wasn't there. It wasn't there at all. But like your trade paperback is proof that it's pretty high bloody standard.
Yeah, no, totally. If you go to the right place, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
All right.
Okay, what else you got?
You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
So I was going to bring up Free Comic Book Day, which happens this coming Saturday, 2nd of May. Free Comic Book Day is the first Saturday in May. And even though I think that the term Free Comic Book Day and the logo, etc., is all owned by Diamond Comics, and I don't know, do they even exist anymore? I kind of lost track of what that was all about.
They're pretty much, they've eaten themselves alive to the point of there's nothing left.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But people are still using the logo and the term and running with it. So I don't know if there's been a kind of consensus that it belongs to the community, so we're all just going to take it and run. But anyway, it's still being called Free Comic Book Day. There was somebody who was using two logos, that one and a new one that says Comic Book Giveaway Day or something like that.
Yeah, right.
So something a lot clunkier.
Yeah,
but anyway,
almost clever. I
don't know about that. So Free Comic Book Day, if you don't know, kiddies at home, because there might be some people who aren't even that knowledgeable about
might be.
Yeah, there might be. Comic shops around the world get a bunch of comics that are specifically made to give away for free, and you turn up at the comic shop and they will give you comics. They will give you these comics. So a lot of the time they're promo comics, or they're specially made for marketing purposes. Usually, or sometimes they're not a full comic. They're like a shorter or a lower page count, but sometimes they're not. And a lot of them will be coming from the main two publishers, but a lot of them will come from the second and third and fourth tier publishers as well. And it's a way to try to get people into the comic shop who maybe don't normally buy comics to say, oh, I'll grab some free ones and then maybe we'll have them hooked. Most comic shops will also run other things during the day as well, like a sale. I know King's are pretty famous for their sale, but I think everybody puts on a pretty good sale on that day. It's usually one of the biggest customer days of the year for the comic shop. So it's a pretty big deal for comics around the world, Free Comic Book Day.
And a lot of shops have creator signings in-house as well on the day. Well, I was going to say something else that was really clever. No, I'll give it a miss and stick to my dumbness.
Okay.
The retailers actually have to purchase these giveaways as well. So it's an investment in marketing for comics in general. So it's a good thing to support your local stores. Of course, they've invested time and money and effort into whatever promotions are being done for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah. So I was going to say that too. The day that occurred to me, I kind of slapped my forehead and said, of course they're paying for it. I bet you anything like Diamond and DC and Marvel don't want to have to pay for these comics. And it's the comic shop owner that has to pay for them in the end. I always thought that they were just getting shipped. I think I probably asked the question, how do they decide how many to ship to you? You go, well, it's however many we buy. And it's like, oh, right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe Marvel not passing on the entire cost of printing of them, or maybe they're making sure that they don't take a profitable cut out of it. I don't know, but yeah, it can be hard, I reckon, for the comic shop to have to also pay for the free comics, especially when you start to count how many they give away. So one would hope that it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, trade day for not just the freebies, but for other people to pick up their shelf browsing stock by coming in on the day to visit. Yeah.
It's a big ask. Good on you, comic book stores.
In my feeds, my social media feeds over the last week or so, I've only actually seen two comic shops in Sydney, in Australia, sorry, two comic shops in Australia that are hosting artists on the day, or doing something more interesting than a sale, or B, a cosplay competition. Um, so Impact Comics in Melbourne has got Trev Wood coming up from Melbourne. I'm pretty sure Trev is Melbourne based. So Trev will be at Impact Comics all day, whatever that means, doing free sketches, which is a great thing. I think that's wonderful, that you come in and you get a free comic and you get a free piece of original art. And Trev's really good. He practices beforehand and gets like a bunch of like Batman and Superman and Spider-Man kind of poses that he can do with a reasonable clip. So yeah, good on Mal at Impact Comics for bringing Trev up for that.
Yeah, now Trev is the current artist on the Unmasked Sinister series for Gestalt.
That's it, yeah.
Written
So,
by Christian Reed, with artwork by Trev Wood, which is looking
yeah,
pretty neat and tidy these days. So
yeah.
go up and get a sketch.
And it's that unmasked thing. If you get to a convention and you look at the Gestalt table, that really stands out. It's such a great range of cover designs. It's like similar design, but every one is really eye-catching. So yeah, great design happening on that. So yeah, he's the artist on that at the moment. The only other store I saw doing something, and I didn't see the store was doing it, I saw an artist talking about it. So Benji Bajarek, Dead Sheet, I think was the last thing that he published and won an award for, right? Dead Sheet, I think it was. But Benji's one of these guys who's constantly doing a new comic and a new comic and a new comic, and they're usually thick ones, comic books rather than floppies.
Yep.
So yeah, Benji is bringing very limited stock of I don't know, a 10 or 20 pager to All Star Comics to give away on Free Comic Book Day. So I don't know if that means he's doing a signing, or if he's having a sit and a chat, or if he's doing sketches as well, or if he's just going to dump them on the table and see what happens. But yeah, Benji has taken it on his own to take it on his own back to make some and to give them to All Star Comics to give away on Free Comic Book Day.
Right.
And it had me thinking, there used to be a little bit more going on in Australian comic shops for Free Comic Book Day. I know King's, especially when they were in their Pitt Street store, so a slightly quieter street, but quite a wide footpath, they would have like Nicholas Scott and sometimes an international person on the, I think Dean Rankin was there one or two times, tabling on the street so that you had to line up past them to get in, because there's usually a really big line to the big shops.
Reverse park around Dean if there's parking at the front.
That's right, exactly.
Parallel park near Rankin's desk.
Exactly. So they would do signings and sell their own work, and I don't know if they had stuff to give away, if they did free sketches as part of the deal or what. But it was a bit of a day, And All Star Comics, for a number of years, would have a rotating roster of like 10 different artists over the day doing free sketches, so that not one person was kind of sitting there from 9 till 7 or whatever the opening time was, and doing sketches for the whole day as well. I don't know, this is probably related to a more peak period of comic books economically, as well, but feel like it's a bit of a shame that doesn't happen. When Wei Chu Chan, Chewy to a lot of people, used to run the comic section at Kinokuniya, he used to make an enormous Free Comic Book Day. They have a nice signing section in the foyer of Kinokuniya Books in Sydney, and there would be a good 10, maybe 12 comic book artists there,
right?
Selling and signing. So again, not necessarily giving stuff away, but making a bit of a festival or fair atmosphere out of it. And when Chewy used to do that, that used to be the biggest sales day of the year for the entire bookshop. Definitely for the comics section, but just in general, the entire shop. It was the biggest day for the entire shop, and that was incredible. Bigger than Boxing Day, bigger than the run up to Christmas.
Wow.
And it was all from comic books and making a great event. There was a cosplay thing as well, and some competitions, randomly giving away stuff that was more worth more money than a free comic book. They'd actually give away some interesting stuff, some books and some statues and whatnot. And that doesn't happen anymore either. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear from people if they could write to us. Um, uh, After the fact, it'll have to be now. But was there other stuff going on at your local
Yeah.
beyond just a sale, and or a cosplay competition? I want to know if there were people signing and interesting books there besides the free comic book day books.
If memory serves correctly, Alternate Worlds is another store that hosts local creators on Free Comic Book Day as part of the promotion.
Oh, right.
I don't know if they're doing it this year. I assume so. But if you hit the Alternate Worlds website, I'm sure they'll have all the information about what's going on this weekend. Because I know that Alternate Worlds does host a lot of the Reverie people on a regular basis, and pushes a lot of the SCAR material and the Reverie material and all that kind of stuff. So
they call it Comic Book Creator Day, right? And they do it every few months. They do more than one a year. They do.
Yeah.
Like a little artist alley just for comic book people. I think it's in their warehouse, is that right? Or in the back of the shop or something? I've never been because it's not in Sydney, but yeah, keep an eye on them. I mean that again, that's a great way to support them. Yeah. Alternate Worlds is pretty cool in that regard.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, good supporter of the local stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was me for Free Comic Book Day.
Right. Okay. The only other thing that I was going to bring people's attention to is a just about to launch Kickstarter project of something that Darren Close has sent us some information about that looks quite handsome, and that is a thing called Death Roll Volume 1 by a Western Australian artist called Levi Cleeman. Now, do you know Levi's work from recent history, the stuff that he's done?
Death Roll will probably be the first actual comics of Levi's that I've seen, but I follow him on Instagram, and his artwork is astounding. It is so good. I love it. Love it a lot.
So he's launching, this goes live on Thursday night, and I think on Friday, mid-morning, 11 o'clock or so, he's launching his Kickstarter. I'll post the URL below, but from what we've seen, or what I've seen of the artwork, it looks pretty stunning and a project to jump on. He's got 2 volumes planned of Death Roll, and the first one has been completed already, so there's no completion risk as far as the campaign is concerned. And I think there's some pretty interesting tier levels you can get in the campaign as well, including, I think there's a $10 discount if you get in on the first day in any of your tier levels, I think. But anyway, if you go to Kickstarter to the address below, which we'll get from Daz Close, sign on, and I think it'll launch in the next day or two. Highly recommended. Yeah.
So the book itself is like getting close to 200 pages thick. So it's a nice thick piece of work. It's full color. It's anthropomorphic ultraviolence. Which is very cool.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. It's beautiful work. So I haven't read the story yet, so I don't know. We always want the story and the art to be both very engaging, but so far, for me at least, like it's really getting me on board on art alone. So I'm hoping the story will be just as engaging as the art.
Definitely worth a look. And also there's a variant cover by John Somariva in the deal as well. So
it looks amazing too.
Yeah. So the whole project looks very classy.
Very classy.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any risk in backing the project, because Volume 1's done. I think Volume 2, from what I've read, is 80% done. So by the time, in a couple of months' time, Volume 2 will be in the bag as well. So as far as a non-threatening but high-quality project, something to look at.
Yeah, get on board. So I met Levi, I reckon it's 2 years ago now, at a dinner after a convention here in Sydney, and a lovely fella. So good to support him there as well. But he's got a really interesting technique of the art. So when you look this up, it's called Death Roll, and and his name is Levi Cleeman. See if you can find him on the Instagrams. Cleeman is Cleeman, so Levi Cleeman. I believe he pencils digitally, but then he prints out the digital pencils, and then I think he inks it there. But he colors the whole thing with colored pencils. So all the coloring that you're looking at in the book, none of it's digital coloring, or the bulk of it is not digital coloring. I don't know if he does any special effects.
I think I read that he tweaks the scanned in colored art in Photoshop. Yeah.
So I've seen that, like the comparisons on his Instagram. The pencil work, the pencil color work looks really lovely. It's really interesting, beautiful shading, and good color choice, good color sense. And then he scans that in and then really pumps it up in Photoshop, doing some post production on that. And then all of a sudden it's really amazing. But you get a lovely texture because it's all pencil work. There's a nice sensibility to it because it's all done by hand rather than thrown in with a digital brush, which is what I do when I do my coloring. It very much has a European feel to it as far as I'm concerned.
And he's very good at capturing the likenesses of different animals, because it's being a anthropomorphic world. There's alligators, and there's gorillas, and there's dogs, and there's cats, and there's possums. And he captures all these the physicality of all these animals so superbly. From what I can gather, there's a tier in the Kickstarter campaign where you can send in a couple of pictures of your pet animal, and he'll draw it in his style, and draw the pet in his style, and you get the original artwork back as an original piece of art. And he imbues the samples that I saw. He imbues the characters with so much life, very animated, vibrant. Lots of movement in the artwork, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be getting on board for that $10 discount, though. So I'll be on the first day as quickly as I can.
Yeah, indeed. So that's Friday, 1st of May, 11 o'clock. So Darren told me it's going live. So get on it. And good luck to Levi with this project, because it looks great.
He's a Perth boy.
That's right. That's right. Yes. And that's all I've got as well. So
we're done.
We're done. What time is it? Wow, that's a short show.
Time for a top up. Yeah, is it? Like I said to you, and the kiddies might not realize that we're recording today on Monday 27, but the last time we recorded was Thursday, so we haven't had a lot of time in between shows to make shit up or to.
A lot of shit hasn't gone down. Yeah,
that's right.
So in general, how are you going with all of your postage out, all of your deliveries of the Greener Pastures book?
So fulfillment.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. How's the fulfillment going on Volume 1?
Physical fulfillment is as done as it can be. Every address that we've got has been fulfilled. So we're still waiting on 14 addresses, but everybody else they either got it or it's in the mail, which is fantastic, including all of the American stuff. I
was going to say, was that a pain in the ass going through that process of registering? What was that process like?
It wasn't as big a pain in the ass as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
So I'm going to continue to offer comics for international people if it continues to be that easy. So it was not a big deal. We've got a MyPost business account, which kiddies at home, if you don't have one of those, you've got to get one. For the first 3 months, they put you on a thing called level 3. So the more you spend at Australia Post in your business account, the higher the level you get to. I guess it's higher. And they give you a bigger and bigger and bigger discount. So they're starting you about mid-level, and the discount is great. Like it's saved us. And I know it's partly because my Kickstarter ended, whatever it was, 18 months ago, and there's probably been a few postal increases in the meantime. But if it wasn't for the discount, I'd be losing money on every package, and I'm not, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's for international as well. And it depends on where you're sending it, how much of a discount you get. But definitely, it's saving us on that. So you make a business account, and if you've got a good post office, we're really lucky. We've got a business post office here, as in it's in the middle of a business park, so they know how to talk to business people, or people who are doing business rather. Um, and so if you've got a good post office, they should help you out with this pretty easily. But the woman there helped us set up the business account, which was really easy. And then you have to link that account to a Zonos account, which is the intermediary between Australia and America. They help you with the courier stuff, the border stuff, border
Customs. Yeah.
custom stuff, yeah, with the custom stuff. Um, and setting up that account, which is free, wasn't too hard either. And then, yeah, you've got to fill out a form for every package that you send, but you fill it out online on your business, my post business web portal. And it actually wasn't too hard either. It was definitely worth the while.
Yeah, right.
I mean, in the end, I know a lot of my peers, the kiddies at home, have Kickstarters a lot bigger than mine. So I only had like 100 people back the trade paperback, but 10% of them were from America. So it's like I don't really want to cut off that
Yeah,
part of the thing.
that's nothing to sniff at. That's
Yeah.
starting to get good numbers. I mean,
Yeah. So who are they? Why do they, why do they want it? I know some of them are like expats. A few of them are expats, but only a small number of them. I didn't recognize most of the names that were from America and Canada. Um, so it's definitely not something I want to cut off. I have to like now that we've sent out a bunch of packages, I know how much it costs to send them, and I'll be tailoring the postage costs on the Kickstarter accordingly. Because one of them definitely I charged far too much, and some of them I charged not enough. So in the end, that's all balanced out. I don't think we lost any money on that,
yeah.
but yeah, all of that's pretty new to me. And like I said, it's been so long between Kickstarter and fulfillment that it's all on me anyway, and I totally get that.
So
Um,
you're just waiting for some stragglers to give you their updated postal addresses,
yeah, and then we'll
and
do
the campaign's pretty much done.
do a second run, and God bless Anne Marie, the comic gods, the new gods. Bless Anne Marie because she's been doing most of the fulfillment. I say most in front of her, and she says, "What do you mean most?" She basically done all the
Yeah.
fulfillment. I set up the accounts and then showed her the accounts, and I showed her how Kickstarter, how that works, and from that point on, she just was filling in all the customs forms and everything.
So
So,
great to have someone like that just to do that
uh,
stuff.
and she loved it. She loved having that stuff to do and
Yeah,
having a pile of books that disappeared and turned into a pile of packages, and it was really great.
very satisfying. Yeah.
You know what? You just reminded me of something. So you go ahead, but
Oh no, I've got nothing to say.
okay. Uh, Talking about postage and how long it's been between Kickstarter and fulfillment. Did you ever read a comic book called, and hopefully this won't get us cancelled, not cancelled, banned on on YouTube? Have you ever read a comic called Hawaiian Dick?
Yes.
How good was that?
Yeah. That was who was that guy?
So it was B. Clay Moore as the
That's
writer.
that's right. Yes.
Steve Griffin is the
Griffin.
Australian, yeah, is the Australian connection there, Stephen Griffin. And I don't think he's made many comics in the last, I don't know how long, unfortunately, but it was a really cool story, but amazing art. It was the whole package, right?
Hawaiian Dick's worth tracking down. It's very
Yeah.
good. And was that an Image comic or was it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
So
brilliant.
I just looked on both All Star and Kings on the weekend. Kings have got I think all the volumes, and maybe All Star do too. Anyway, it's not hard to find copies of the collected volumes. There's four. I think there's four volumes. Um, and they ran, or rather, B. Clay Moore ran a Kickstarter a long time ago. I like maybe 10 years ago or something crazy. I don't know. And is only just fulfilling it now, but it's for a 100 page. I think it's called the Great Big Hawaiian Dick or something,
Yeah.
something like that. So Hawaiian Dick, it's a detective. That's where the dick comes from. It's a slang term for a detective set in Hawaii.
And isn't it
Just
set in the
post-war.
past? Yeah. period piece. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it 50s or 60s? I think it's 50s. And it's got you must have loved it because it's got that little magical element to it. And is it or isn't it kind of thing. Really, really well written.
And lots of Hawaii shirts and cocktails with pineapple and
yeah.
And bloody noses.
Steve Griffin, as the artist, really lent into that tiki art. That tiki. That's the name of the art style. So yeah, it's really great. Worth getting. So I'm part of the Facebook group, and something came up saying I'm nearly ready to send this. Thank you everybody for your patience, and I'm still. It's 100 pages, and when he ran the Kickstarter, it was $25 including postage. And he said, and it is what it is. I'm still doing that. He must be losing money on it if he hasn't printed it yet, and postage has gone up. And I didn't support the Kickstarter because either I hadn't really gotten into Kickstarter yet, or it was too expensive at the time. I don't know what, for whatever reason. So I messaged Claymore. I think that's the name he goes under, Big Claymore, via the group, and I said, "Can I still get one?" And he said, "Absolutely." And he said, "It's still, it was $25 including postage. Anyone who's coming on board at this point is $35 including postage." Okay, and that is still a ridiculous bargain. I said, "Are you sure you're okay with that? I'm in Sydney, Australia." He said, "That's fine." So $35 American to get a comic sent here is pretty good. I know that's going to get well, a month ago it would have been close to $70, but the dollar's not too bad at the moment. Maybe it's closer to 50 or 60. So yeah, I'm getting on that. I don't think Steven's involved anymore, which is unfortunate, but there's a bunch of amazing artists. I think it's a bunch of short stories or one pages or something like that. So just to add it to the rest of my Hawaiian Dick collection.
So is this a reprint?
You can never have too much Hawaiian Dick, right?
That's true. Is this a reprint collection of previous material with some new stuff, or is it new stuff?
No, I'm pretty sure it's all new.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I could be wrong. Have a look. Have a look for yourself, kiddies. But I'm pretty sure it's all new. Okay. But yeah.
Speaking of Ryan K. Lindsay, he's got a he's got a big reissue coming out of what's the project with Sammy Cavella?
Chum.
Thank you very much. With the big die cut cover of the shark's face on and the hardcover and deluxe oversized. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's is that through Mad Cave?
I think so. Yeah.
So that's a reprinting of the collected edition of the limited series called Chum. Yeah.
Yep. Given the deluxe treatment.
Yeah. Have you read that? I don't think I've ever read Chum.
No, I haven't read it either, but it looks amazing. So, I think this is a 10th anniversary edition.
Yeah,
given the deluxe treatment. So track that down as well, because Ryan K. Lindsay is always good value and worth your while.
Yeah, and I think that the whole thing with the hardcover, oversized, die cut, all of that, I think it's to make it part of the series that was it She was the first one, the sci-fi one, and then Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, Fistful of Fury, or whatever it was, their Kung Fu book, which also was hardcover with a die cut. So I think it's in that kind of they're trying to get a collection going in that way for Ryan K. Lindsay's work, which is fantastic. What a great thing to have on your bookshelf.
I hope they consider the slide in and slide out aspect of the die cut being caught on the shelf as you gingerly. So it's that kind of thing to be great being in a slip cover, in a slip case, and then that can go into your shelf. But that's just me being anal. So anyway, I'm sure they've considered it and they've got all those problems worked out. So
I'm sure they're all watching the show going, shit, we never thought of
that. Anyway, so okay. Well, I think that might be it for this week then.
Brilliant.
Because I've got shit to do and you've got shit to do.
Absolutely. I'm marking. Oh my God. I've been marking nonstop. I've marked, I don't know, close to 60 assignments over this weekend. I've still got a few to go because I am very behind on my marking. So I'm trying to catch up. So
get amongst it, McEwen. Get amongst it.
All those kiddies are getting their marks, which is great.
Okay, I'm going to set up to pause recording. Okay, what do we say each week?
More comics more often.